This time, it was humanity which hit the shore. Their last hope for freedom for the Maden family of 5 ended in tragedy. Huseyin Maden, 40, was a physics teacher. His wife, Nur Maden, 36, was also a teacher. The family, who resided in the city of Kastamonu, had 3 children together. Nadire Maden, 13, Nur Maden, 10, and their youngest child, Feridun Maden, who was only 7. Together with them, humanity also got wiped away in the cold waters of the Aegean Sea. The young couple held down careers with a clean, proven track record, full of accomplishments. A couple who never failed to teach and look after their pupils to the best of their ability, but unfortunately failed the essentials of safety and belonging by their very own country. Their heart-wrenching story unravels the suffering and persecution the family had to endure, bringing the nation to shame. Huseyin Maden and his wife Nur Maden were 2 of tens and thousands of governmental decree victims, shortly after the 15th of July failed coup attempt. Moreover, an investigation process began for the Maden couple on the grounds of their ties to the Gulen movement. Fearing imprisonment and their children being left behind, the family had no choice but to hide. The new address the family continued to live for nearly a year was repeatedly raided by the police. Huseyin Maden, who was removed from his profession, had to feed and look after his family. He started working undercover as a labourer with no means of social security insurance, earning just 1,000 Turkish liras, equivalent to £188. They were just trying to survive. Huseyin Maden had not only been sacked from his job, but all his assets were also confiscated. Due to the family having to live a hidden life, it wasn't possible for the children to receive any education. The family were condemned to social lynch in Turkey. Struggling to cope any longer, former teacher Huseyin Maden borrowed money and bought an old boat to take his family to the Lesbos island in Greece. His friend spoke about his last night. Huseyin Maden's friend, who lent him money, describes his farewell. We spoke until the morning prayer. We then prayed together. In the morning, he woke me up and told me that he bought his jeans and shirt second-hand for a total of 10 Turkish liras, £1.88. He only had a carrier bag with him. We said our goodbyes. I don't feel like leaving, but I have no other choice. No acquaintances. We are going towards an unknown journey, he said. I asked him how much money he had. He responded by saying 5,000 to 6,000 Turkish liras, between 939 to £1,127. But God is great. Saying goodbye was hard. I usually don't cry, but I couldn't control my tears. He wanted me to forgive him for any intentional or unintentional wrongdoings. The house felt very empty and dull soon after he left. The day of the journey, who knows what the unlucky family experienced on their last night, or what explanation they had given to their innocent children. On a boat, they set on a journey full of ambiguity. It was a freezing cold day. Their mother must have wrapped up the Maden children in warm clothing. Both husband and wife only worked as civil servants. How would they have any knowledge on travelling to Greece via illegal routes? This was the first time they experienced what it felt like to be treated as terrorists. It was too much to endure. They had no choice but to leave. Physics teacher Huseyin Maden and his family set out on their journey on the cold waters of the Aegean Sea. As frightening as it must have been, the challenges they may have experienced on their journey remains a mystery. One thing that we do know is the message they texted their families. We saw the lights. We are heading towards the island, said Huseyin Maden. It was the light of hope for them, the light at the end of a dark tunnel. But sadly, they never reached the shore. Around 20 days after their last message, their family and friends, who they left behind, probably tried to relieve themselves by wanting to believe that they were at a refugee camp. They could not get through to the Maden family. Unfortunately, it wasn't good news. The dead bodies of 3 children belonging to 2 girls and 1 boy were found on a Lesbos beach. In their short lifetime, they had gone through many sorrows. In the hours when their peers went to school, they were engulfed in eternal sleep on the cold shores of a strange country which they had never been to. The Greek police broke the news of the heartbreaking family disaster. All 5 dead bodies which were found belonged to the Maden family members. The story of the Maden family did not differ from the thousands of families in Turkey. Thousands of people have been charged through the governmental decree, suspended from their jobs, and labelled as guilty with no evidence or a court hearing. They were a family who were denied basic human rights by their own country and authorities. Similarly to the case of the 3-year-old Syrian toddler Aylan, 3 more lifeless bodies of children were washed ashore, and despite this harrowing tragedy, the mainstream media in Turkey did not even report their story.